Hello, hello, beautiful friends, souls around the world. I hope you're doing as well as possible in those times of extremely fast, rapid change. As I was already having about a week ago, a little bit longer, let's say summary description about the lunar eclipse, kind of what we integrated, what was the topic, how we actually reacted to it and what it represented. I was now, of course, looking forward to share a little bit around these past days, around the solar eclipse, and just to share about this aspect, because of course the solar is all about the action, the masculine energy. And as the collective field, we were now pretty much highlighting everything regarding the masculine energy. So again, when I speak about masculine energy, both genders are carrying it within. So this means men and women, okay? So that we not get so much hooked onto that it's just the man having now this process. So what is actually right now going on, what was going on, what the solar eclipse brought, and even it was a partial, even not everyone could see it. Again, every eclipse season has the season in a pair. So this means it's never just a process arriving with a solar eclipse, or it's never just a lunar. They're always in a pair. So this means, let's say at some point we're firstly starting with the feminine aspect and then we go to the masculine or opposite, okay? So, but to go now into the details, what did actually this solar eclipse highlighted? And it was now on Sunday, and it was actually on the new moon in Virgo. And Virgo is the only sign, if you're just checking in the astrology circle, which actually isn't an animal, right, or isn't something in between, but it's the only sign presenting a human, okay? This Virgo, the human. And so there is no coincidence ever when we have this kind of cosmic events, and especially now together, paired. Imagine this Virgo, this human, and then solar eclipse. So both together were pointing out onto something tangible. So tangible means that the action, how are we reacting in our daily life as a human, okay? So this was like pretty profound, more than we might actually expect, right? So again, it's not always just about this Big Bang and seeing outside these planets and everything shining, but it's also about the consciousness and the rhythms of the universe, of the earth, of nature, and why are always these eclipses arriving actually like a deep, profound detox, okay? And detox means now, when we had the lunar eclipse, it was all about this feminine. Feminine is about the inner world, the emotions, okay? So we were really highlighting, where are we having emotions which are not serving, which are stuck, which are just like traumatic imprints. And now, again, we are now in the solar eclipse, still after shadow, okay, post shadow. So this means we're still in these energies of the masculine aspect. And what is the masculine representing? Yeah, of course, we said the action, the movement, but it's moving with thoughts. So this means the intellect, okay? So this means if before we had this detox of the emotions, okay, for the lunar eclipse, now we're having detox of our mind, of our thoughts, of our mindset. So take this in for a moment. So this means, where do we have thoughts looping and we are using them and we're thinking like that which are actually not aligned to us, not serving us, and even holding us back on our journey. And our journey can be, you know, expansion, more to be aligned with life, with whatever you're setting your goals on, yeah? That we don't need to feel that we're actually in a block, or why can't I still achieve that? Why am I still there and my, I don't know, friends already achieved everything they want? And that's also one of the toxic mindset which will come now, I'm more than sure, for many out, to actually, in this chaos of life, you will start to feel, oh my God, am I still on the way? Am I actually not good enough? Is something wrong with me? And all this, what is happening, and now listen to this genius, beautiful constellation. So more we are actually in the pressure from the outside. So why didn't we achieve that yet? Why don't we have, I don't know, our own house or better job or money or who knows what, okay? The material manifestation. That this pressure will actually highlight if we still have doubts, fears, negative thought forms about our own selves, even negative perspective of our own self, that we are really not good enough, that's something wrong with us. So you see that actually the pressure is our test, and test in the way that we can check for our own self, am I really having, for my own self, toxic thoughts about myself? Because if I'm now turning from another perspective to all of you, I'm actually coming online just as a reminder, okay? We're all in the same beautiful, big process of awakening, okay? But awakening to what? To the truth. And the truth is, if we are taking now this feminine aspect, this love, intuition, feelings, yeah? She's very deep, and she goes into surrender, and she can blindly, in that darkness, feel and know where she's going. The same is for the masculine aspect, that actually this light, the intellect, okay, this higher divine information, which everything is actually connected with our mind, but not with our 3D mind, but with our higher mind, okay? So if we take this into consideration, that actually solar eclipse is bringing in higher light, which means higher intelligence, consciousness, it helps us to see and expand and to realize things from another perspective. That's the growth. So it's not only to shake us up and to say, hey, why am I still thinking so little about myself, right? That I still didn't achieve it, so I'm nobody, I should have all of these things and so on, or why I'm not courageous. And all of this is helping us, this light which shed now from the solar eclipse, yes, from the light, onto the shadows of our thought, of our mind. So that's the detox we're in now, all of us, okay? Doesn't matter what you believe, what's your religion, everything with our mindset will and is being highlighted. And again, like I said, every eclipse season is detox season. Detox from all what is not serving us anymore. So if we go now into the understanding, if I am this high intelligent, eternal, divine source mind, okay, of creation, how can I even think that I'm not good enough, that I have no ideas how to get out of my misery, that I can't even trust into myself, that I'm able to move forward? Okay, so this is actually an encouragement as well to all of you, to all of us, to understand that if those thoughts are now rising and you actually feel, excuse my language, really shitty on the ground, that was the purpose, to let you see how actually little you're still thinking about yourself. And little means you're not in your higher mind, because your mind is chatting and saying, oh, your father told you you're not really worthy, your mother told you, maybe the school told you, the teachers, and so on and so forth. And we're having now the chance with all of these eclipses and all of these really perfect aligned planetary constellations, okay? Like everything is so beautifully working for us behind the scenes. You don't need to follow astrology, nothing, just energetically. You will feel that something is brewing and something is changing and shifting enormously and fast, to make you wake up, to maybe just for a moment tap into yourself from another perspective and then see, okay, so actually it's not just that I'm now, I don't know, the one who is at the end of the line, and actually everyone is having already a beautiful life and I'm just nobody and I still can get the things together, and I have this negative mind chatter thinking bad about myself. All of this is just showing you this is to be detoxed, released, because you can be now the big one in your creative movie. Okay, this is you. You created it through your thoughts, through how you feel about you, you create it into manifestation. So everything is you, everything. So this means if you can now catch yourself or just step out and be now this kind of, let's call it third person or whatever you want to call it, okay? And just see, okay, today's a day where I'm again in bed and just thinking about me. I have no money, I don't know anything, what should I do now in this chaos on this world? That's the moment when you say, it's not about where I'm going to go now, what I'm going to do. It's about to see, oh my God, I have actually toxic thoughts. So it's not about what you're going to do, how you're going to get out, but to see only this is not how actually Creator, Source, God, Universe, call it as you want, would think about itself. This sentence is enough for you to work with it. So this means every time when you're in some misery, in some limitation thought forms, in fear, in frustration, even in anger, okay? Think about, can you really with force, which is like your force, it's not nature force, okay? Change things, and I go out now and I hit someone, I don't know, or the wall, or destroy something just to get my things done. You see, this is also not your essential nature. This was just somewhere swapped on. This means like maybe through movies, maybe how you've been raised, maybe you are in a heavy environment and everyone is doing that. But we are now here to become mature, to really stand behind our thinking, doing, living, acting, and this you call awakening, because we are spiritual growing. So if we've been till now these little children lost on this planet and trying to figure out what to do, where to go, etc. and so on, it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter, that we can point fingers from where this fault was coming, or who is the one who should be blamed for that I am now where I am, right? We are good with blaming. Maybe neighbor, maybe mother, father, the politics, whoever. We are good with blaming because we like to put rather the responsibility towards others, so we can have it still in this kind of a little bit childish state to say, oh, it wasn't me, I just had a tough, I don't know, childhood, so I'm actually the victim. So more we're getting into this, let's call it now, really tangible new earth experience, new earth manifestation, which is nothing else then we're stepping up with our consciousness, thinking, perspective, vision, understanding into a higher frequency. Like you would just put the frequency a bit higher, more we are already seeing things from a higher perspective, new ways, new understanding, and this higher new earth frequency is already attuned to a oneness field. Oneness means I'm not here to harm, I'm understanding, I'm here just to learn, to expand, to grow. But when we are still in this lower frequency mindset, we are not still, many are not still realizing that, hey, you're not in a misery just to call yourself, I'm now a victim. You're in misery to actually see, okay, so I took on different toxic mind patterns, programs, informations from my life, from maybe parents, from culture, but I can now wake up from that and actually transmute it by recognizing it. That's exactly the first step, beautiful souls. So this means the solar eclipse, the second part of this process we are in, especially this whole September is really shaking it in a deep way, is actually serving us that this masculine energy within us, which we need if we want to actually build a new reality, build new outcomes, all right? That's already the first step too, because we can't actually build something more aligned from the same mindset. I already guarantee you, no chance. You're gonna still loop and loop and loop. Same situation, same people, maybe they just have a different dress, same outcome. All right, so it's really important that we all use this energy now we are in, this kind of which we are calling, why is it so heavy, why is it so fast, why I'm just tired, why I'm just sleepy, because we are integrating higher light into our physical body. Without higher light, you don't have higher consciousness information to change anything, to wake up, to suddenly feel, I don't feel actually good anymore in this place, situation, job, etc. So it's from inside out waking us up. So it won't be the outer, I don't know, a politician, a religion person suddenly on the stage that we're gonna say, now we are in a new world and we woke up. It's gonna come from the inside out. And this can only be more light you integrate, which you can only do with a more flowing body, less density, less trauma, less old distorted programs, because all of this is making the body not able to actually like a pot, like a tube to receive and anchor in this light, which is helping us, almost we could say it's giving us the next stepping stones or the building blocks to go forward. That's actually what light is bringing in. So this means you will not figure out situations only by, what could I more do to get myself out from where I am, where I don't feel aligned, don't feel happy, don't feel fulfilled, I'm still in lack, I still feel like a victim, that you can't change it again. Please take this in from your mind to figure it out. You have to go from a higher consciousness, understanding from a new perspective to find the answers. And now I'm going to go even a bit more deeper. So what is consciousness then, right? Now we could say this is a living light, right? We can say this is like everything what exists means like source, God, faith, okay? But why are so many not in this moment having any more faith that something good, better can happen now on this planet? Because they are not anymore connected with this light within. If it's so dense, if it's so filled up with structures I can't I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't. If you can't, then you're thinking limited. Then you can't remember anymore that you are an expansive spirit, an expansive God source energy. And that's why many are not anymore in faith, because the mind would say, hey, we don't have money, I'm hungry, I'm on the street, they're killing each other, of course, why would I have faith? There's nothing beautiful there out, okay? And this is exactly, I will say again, our test to detox and flesh out all of this, what I was just stating now, that you can't, that you're limited, because we can only, with a new, wider, open mindset, go forward, okay? And the next step, how we're going to go forward, again, this light, which we anchored, especially this last few weeks, in our body, in our whole collective field, is actually, like I said, living source intelligence. So this means that actually this light within will actually be our new guide. And I will say, be our new guide. Why new? When you said just before, everything is always source. Because we were leaning for thousands of years that the mind, the ego, knows where we go and knows the best and knows what to choose. And the ego wasn't wrong, okay? Don't take me here also wrong, because the ego was just working with the system this 3D reality was gifting us. And it was gifting us, you know, you can be only as old. If you, I don't know, eat this, then you will not have youth. If you do this. And so we had all this kind of, let's call it a template, rules for the 3D. But we are now with the expansion, stepping out, not with just outer action. This is then coming afterwards, but with an inner new understanding, stepping out and wake up. Hey, these are just some programs who they told us this is here, these are the rules. But when you follow, not anymore just the mind who tries to figure out everything, but actually this higher intelligence, let's call it again, God source, then you're starting to lean into a bigger field of actually eternal intelligence. So eternal means it's not limited just on a 3D mindset here with all these rules, but it has an eternal open space, which we also call the law of one. And the law of one is actually the only, let's say now, law of all what exists, because it will always include everything to be in a complete collaboration and coherence. Everything. So this means can be from a little ant to the tree to the wind. Everything is then aligned to actually source intelligence. Remember that how many times you maybe saw events in nature at the exact point, with the exact color, with the exact anything you want to figure out now, which our mind would be never ever able to exactly in this precision calculate. All right, any kind of events like natural or even in between humans, why this person right now met the other one behind the corner, which he would never think that he will be there. Everything is a divine precision, all right? And this is not our mind who would ever be able to figure out. And if you now, in this deep time of this transformation, when our minds had been upgraded and detoxed from really distorted mind thought patterns, yeah, that's why we couldn't even create anymore in an abundant way, in a flowing way, in a just healthy way, okay? And people are just in fear and scarcity and poverty, because again our mind is running out of ideas. Why? Because this 3D, like my finger, is going from A to Z. And as we already walked all of these options, there's nothing more I can actually use as new potential. Yeah, let's say we used up all this potential. So of course, it's now even getting logical. If you want to create now something more expensive, how can you then even think? It's not logical that you can use the same potential if you are actually for something bigger, needing to tap into a bigger field of potential. That's higher consciousness. All right? And from there, again, allow that actually the mind falls into this new frequency in a new way. So again, if you get scared, if you have again this kind of whatever, anxiety, frustration, anger, limited belief, dark self-talk and self-perspective, then just in that moment, even you feel it, it's real. Of course, we all been there or still are. At that moment, you just say, is this really source, God, high light intelligence, who is telling me that? So this means that I am not good enough, that I'm now a victim, I don't have anything. Or do you really believe these mind chatters, and then you're gonna start to see that we're actually lying to ourselves, thinking so bad about ourselves, and then of course we are creating from that state. All right, so this means even it sounds now a little bit, it's not too complicated, it's just to make you aware, or that I remind you right now, all of us, that this solar eclipse season, or let's say just this season now in general, is really a beautiful invitation that we can now detox thoughts and mindsets which were really starting to rather distract us, our life, our beauty, our glow, our joy, our genius idea mind, with how it was, okay, with how those thoughts and patterns and these chatters were going all the time. So nothing is really overnight. Be aware, of course. So this means every time something like that arises, any kind of toxic mind thoughts, yeah, okay, anything, depression, etc., it's a cultivation. So every day when I hear that, when I feel that, I just ask myself, is this really the God within me, the divinity within me, the light within me, the universe within me? You can choose how you are calling this creator source, okay? I'm not here to tell you that, because everyone can use a different expression, but it's more about the essence. When we're in essence eternal, that's more than a lie that you would think that you're a victim, that you now here, that you wouldn't be able to create anything. That's when we are tapping out of a 3D potential who told us that we can't create more than this out of there, and start to see wonders. Not because we're then suddenly in a magical land. No, you are that wonder, because we, essential with our light, with our soul, with our heart, even with our mind, when it's plugged into a higher mind of actually source, of eternity, of divinity, and I don't need to control anymore with my little human brain, then watch what all you can actually really manifest. All right, so it starts with your own self, to recognize you. Yeah, that's the healthy, the divine masculine energy, okay, for women and for men. Yeah, the energy that we recognize, this divine masculine energy as higher intelligence, yeah, which is higher consciousness. And as much we then as well recognize this beautiful eternal love, which is the feminine, yeah, which is then this flowing, and she's gifting this kind of life in these ideas, yeah, when we have all these amazing ideas and we do it with love, we're creating it with love, those ideas, not just because we have to do another job. With love, we are actually nourishing it, and it's then really rapidly expanding. This what you as well call being a divine alchemist, all right? I just have now, some days ago, a beautiful activation, but anyhow, not just about that, just to say, when we understand how to function again from a higher state, right, from this next state, which actually nature, energies, eclipses, sun, earth, everyone is gifting us to just be aware and open up to that and start to more conscious connect to that, then my beautiful souls start to really then see not just big shifts to say, oh my God, everything's breaking apart, but you're gonna say, oh, I'm seeing big shifts that, I don't know, door opening up and I can be suddenly, I don't know, somewhere where I wanted always to be, and it's just coming to me. Yes, because we are magnets, my beautiful souls, we are magnets when we are aligned with our soul. And how can we be aligned with our soul when we are aligned with nature? So nature means I am in my body. I love my body. I take care of my body. That's also what this new moon brought now, the Virgo. I take care, because when I take care of my physicality, I take care of my human self. When I take care that I'm connected, I can every day even walk and be in a beautiful meditation. Yeah, I just look at the sky and that's also meditation. But I'm aware of it. I'm aware of the light. I'm aware of this higher consciousness. That's then how I'm actually nourishing my higher self. Yeah, my human self, my higher self, and that's our two parts, which we are constantly in a way bringing them into alignment, dancing with them, and as well growing with them. Yeah. So if one or the other is kind of not being aware of or not being nourished, taken care of, then of course, how can this magical alchemy happen if we don't really have them all the ingredients really in its perfection? Okay. So taking care of your mind is as well, how can I expand and have new thoughts from a higher perspective? Detox all of these truly crappy programs which are constantly being bombarded on our pathway, not just our parents, like in the movies, in the newspapers, everywhere, that we can just see how you have to be. If you're not, then you're nothing. If you don't have this, then you didn't achieve anything. Again, constantly putting this kind of masculine energy onto a test. And now, please, beautiful men and women, have this compassion and see now that it wasn't easy either for the man as well in the outer, okay? Because there was this constant pressure that they almost had to build up a wall of being tough to actually sustain in this constant kind of being, yeah, like in a race, okay? Who's the winner in a competition? So have compassion for either side now in this time of detox old version, old thinking, old feeling. Come on, guys, it's really time. We have so much support, but without that we do the steps, of course, it will not fall onto our lap. And when I say, come on, it's not now to say, hey, you didn't do that yet, but I know that everything I do for myself, I'm actually bringing into the collective field. And that's another awareness you should all become more aware of, that we never, ever do anything just for ourselves, because the truth is, it's just one field. And yes, everything is affecting everything, means we are indeed never ever separated. And of course it hurts even more, or it's even more triggering to see then, oh no, I'm not that outside, I don't know, murder or the one who do this and that. That's all shadows which we can find in small version in all of us. Means instead losing now energy with, I need to control what the neighbor does, I need to control, I don't know, will my partner still stay, I need to control, is taking so much energy. Even I need to control how others think about me, that I'm not losing my faith because I'm always the best and greatest one. Taking too much energy. Use it, because you're gonna get tired. We're all gonna get more and more tired. Use all this time, all this energy, pull it back and start to work on yourself, all right? So when we do that, we can then meet each other in such more clear, authentic way, because then I can tell you, phew, it wasn't easy. I was on the ground, I was crying, I was even maybe in poverty, but I'm honest, I'm authentic, and that's the truth. We are awakening, all of us now, to the truth. So take this time, know that all what is happening energetically, planetary, eclipses, etc. and so on, is a detox, as we are more and more able then to hold higher light. Again, light is consciousness, and consciousness is bringing expansion and growth forward into oneness and unity. So I truly hope that this helped, inspired, motivated, because that was really my main focus here, and just to help you a little bit maybe out in this process, that no, you didn't do anything wrong. No, you're not losing because you're stupid your job, or that you're not good enough, that you can't be in a beautiful relationship or build your house, your home, your dream. All of that you can still do. But if you feel all the opposite of it, is because these are the things you all, we all need now to detox out of your system, of your body, of your mind, and just concentrate. When you catch yourself, this is not divinity who would say that I'm not good enough. Divinity source would say, hey, I'm eternal, I can do anything. So when you see that, recognize, write it down, and you can even state it. Let's say for 1 week you're writing down all these negative mind chatters, all these programs from childhood, from culture, from wherever you picked it up. And then at the end of the week, just read it and then just state it. This is an old version, distorted version of my masculine mindset, and I'm now ready to release. You can burn it, you can throw it away, and then just write down, like, I'm expansive, I'm like able to find always solution, and I can always be clearer with it. I can always find solution in an easy way, not with heaviness, not with sacrifice, not with, because everyone is just working, it's not good, let's work more and more, and suddenly you're gonna be 50 and fall off this chair because you thought only like that you can prove that your masculine energy has a worth. That's incredible how toxic so much people been raised. I mean, all of us, all right? But we have not the chance with new light be shed on these shadows, okay? These are our demons, and just transmute. Hey, we are this inner sun, and we can transmute anything. So sending so much love from my heart to yours. Take this on board and just don't stop when this arises and think now it's all over. But that's the moment when you catch it and you know then what you need to detox. That mindset, that sentence, that energy, that situation. Okay? So much love. And yeah, keep going. it's all right, and we are. Trust, we are rising to remember again, hey, divinity is anchoring back for real. Bye for now.